All right, Chrissy here from PopCultureMadness.com and ConcertBlogger.com. Can you introduce yourself to our site visitors?
I am John Garcia from Vista, Chino.
Great. Thank you so much for joining me. We're here at Orion Festival in Detroit. How are you enjoying your mornings?
You know, when you wake up and you talk to the love of your life, which is my wife and my son and my daughter, and then you come to a wonderful festival like this where you're going to be playing with so many great bands, especially Metallica. Your morning is pretty fucking awesome. So I'm very excited and very fortunate and very appreciative that I can be here.
Oh, absolutely. So, other than Metallica, of course, are there any other bands that you're looking forward to checking out?
Between what I'm doing right now, I'm not going to be able to see a whole heck of a lot of acts, but it's welcomed work that I don't mind doing, and I've got a super a little bit of a red-eye flight back to Palm Springs, so it's going to be one of those type of days. But again, I'm just stoked to be sharing the stage with Brent Bjork and Bruno Fevery and Mike Dean from Corrosion of Conformity, who's playing with us on bass today. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. That's very exciting. So this is going to mark kind of the first North American show for you guys, right?
It's the very first show for us, and it's very fitting. Our last show was with Metallica under Caius Lives in Perth, Australia, and so it's very fitting that our first show for North America is with Metallica under Vista Chino. So thank you, Metallica. I appreciate that.
It's amazing that it's kind of come full circle like that.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. It's awesome. It's pitching. Very stoked.
So you guys are working on the debut album for Vista Chino. So how far along in the process are you right now?
We're done. We're done. It's mixed. It's mastered. It's it's all done, and it's coming out in September, and we're going to be start July. We're going to be starting July. We're going to be on the road up until Christmas Eve, and then come January, we're going to do it all again up until the end of next summer. So we got a very busy schedule, and we're excited to go back out and do what we do.
That sounds like you guys are not going to have a break at all, but it's awesome that you're out there and you're playing this new music, and I think it's exciting.
I'm spending as much time as I can with my family and my two kids as much as possible. So we have a good summer ahead of us, and then Dad's going to be gone for a little while. So, but it's again to be on the road with Brent Bjork and Bruno and Mike. It's gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Getting back to work.
So can you take me into the recording process a little bit, and maybe one track in particular, and kind of tell me what the mindset was like?
Well, it was done up at Brent Bjork's studio in Joshua Tree, California. It was done 100% on 2-inch tape. It was done while putting out a lot of fires, personal fires, legal fires, and whatnot. So the mindset was it was throughout all those fires. It was still done very organically in a very organic place. When you talk about Vista Chino and the record piece, I look at Dragona Dargona, I look at Sweet Remain, I look at As You Wish, I look at Adara, I look at Good Morning Wasteland, I look at Sunlight at Midnight as a group, as a collection of songs that it's a little bit of a story. So Brent did an amazing job producing it, and Bruno did an excellent job at playing guitar, and Nick Oliveri did an equally amazing job at playing the bass. And when you have a band like that, I just look at it as a very fortunate place where I'm at as a singer. So I'm just stoked to be a part of it and stoked to be involved with it, and it's an honor. I mean, in a weird sort of way. I mean, I'm very appreciative that I could be here talking to you, and in where we are. So it come on an appreciation level. It's something that obviously hasn't gone unnoticed, unappreciated, or especially somebody by me. So I went off on a different tangent there, but I apologize. But I again, on an appreciation level, it's massive for me.
So how long were you guys in Joshua Tree? How long was the process? I hear it's just absolutely beautiful, and I'm sure that even the environment out there had some kind of effect.
I've lived in the desert my entire life, so that's home to me. I once moved to Los Angeles once.
One time.
And upon opening my first box to unpack, I knew I had made a huge mistake, and I immediately moved back. It took me a year to finally, move back. But it's an amazing place. I mean, a rattlesnake almost bit me, on my ankle the other day, but that's where I live. So
it goes along with the territory.
It goes along with the territory. So, but it's a good thing, and I love Brent, I love Bruno, and I have mad respect for Nick Oliveri and Mike Dean, and it's the environment I think does play on the organic side of things, especially where we're from and who did the artwork. The date farmers, the local guys did the artwork, and when you go into Palm Springs, there's a couple ways to go into Palm Springs, and chances are you're going to come across the street. You're going to pass a street called Vista Chino. So the desert resonates with us in a big way, and it did so on the record as well. So it's all melded together, I guess you could say.
Absolutely. I know Johnette Napolitano from Concrete Blonde lives out there, and I've always talked to her about the effect.
Up in JT and Joshua Tree, yeah.
Right. And I know she does a lot with the horses up there and everything. And it just the effect of that having on her music and even the flamenco dancing and all that. It's fascinating to me.
She played this club right down the street from. I live literally in the middle of the desert. Okay, I mean, where I've got a desert mountain. I own half this mountain and a big a piece of land out there, and there's a place right down the street from me called Willie Boys, and it's a saloon, and they serve there's a mechanical bull and all that. I mean, we're in the middle of the desert, and it's a town where there's 1,500 people. That's where I live. So Concrete Blonde played that place, and it was so fucking packed. You would not believe. I mean, this place is a pretty big place too, but it was fucking packed, and it was awesome. It was so rad. I've never met her, but she's a desert local, and
you have a chance.
And desert locals automatically have somewhat of a connection. Either you get the desert or you don't get the desert. A lot of people say, don't see anything. They say, well, what do you see? A lot of people don't see anything when I see everything. I see life. There's so much life out there that you either see it or you don't see it. And I think she sees it. I think she gets it. And I was born and raised, so I'm very familiar, and that's my home.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure it's kind of frustrating sometimes when people don't get it.
I wish a lot more people didn't get it. You know what I mean? It's starting to get, I don't, in a weird sort of way, it is my desert. And it's my home. So I don't like people coming into my turtle shell, if you will, and so So stay out. I'm just kidding. It's not as beautiful as I'm saying. Stay out.
Don't visit. No, be done.
Right, exactly.
So I know I saw that you guys have some European touring coming up. Is there going to be any more North American dates?
Yes, we're going to do 2 extensive legs this year.
Is that going to be after the album release? Or?
It's going to be after the album release, yes. So it should be available. People should have it in their hands and be able to familiarize themselves with the songs. And I'm still familiarizing myself with the songs. So I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. Well, we're really looking forward to it. And I want to thank you so much for taking a few minutes out to speak with me. It was a pleasure. Hopefully we will see you in Philadelphia sometime on that other leg of the tour.
We'll be there.
Awesome.
I'll be there. Thank you,
Thank you so
for having
much.
me.